Good morning. It's Diamond Life Radio. It's your girl Carly Black in the building, chilling with Dr. Pendleton over here. On behalf of Diamond Life Radio and I'm So Houston Magazine, I'd like to thank y'all for allowing me to talk with y'all this morning. Y'all talk. Thank y'all very much.
Sure. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna just sit it right here. Like, I know my voice is loud, so it carries. So I'm gonna just sit it over here close to y'all. It'll pick y'all up. Y'all don't have to just get close to it or anything.
Okay. With you can start it off, honey.
You want me to start it off?
Yes, you can start it off. You're good at that.
I want to thank my lovely wife for allowing me to take lead on this. And that's one thing about a godly woman. She will always let a godly man just take lead.
That's true.
It's in her DNA, spiritual DNA.
Right.
And I want to thank her for being the type of submissive woman to follow godly protocol, even though she's the smartest one in this whole project.
Right?
My wife is very academic. My wife has, she's quite scholarly, and I thank God that I'm blessed to even have a wife of this magnitude. And I'm going to get out of this real quick. I'm going to let her talk. But I'm kind of giving a little brief introduction on my wife, Dr. Alice Pendleton, Ph.D. She earned her Ph.D. from Texas A&M University in mechanical engineering, and from Rice University she earned her bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Prairie View, her bachelor's. So that gives you a brief outline. My wife had the opportunity to work for NASA, and we working for NASA. She was called to do a special work at NASA, and this was done because the President of the United States, George Bush, requested from a guy by the name of Mike Doobie, who's a head scientist. He's a world-renowned scientist.
Right.
You can call Mike Doobie's name in any scientific institution, and his name has a plethora of achievements. But anyway, Mike Doobie found out that Texas A&M had Dr. Pendleton there, and they asked A&M to get Dr. Pendleton involved in the next project, which was they had gone to the moon, but now we go to Mars, and so we had to do what we had to do. We had to go in and redesign the lubricant inside the Hubble space shuttle, the Hubble telescope, the space shuttle, and the space station. But most of all, for the next satellite that will replace the Hubble, which is I can't forget the acronym, it is the
James Webb.
James Webb.
Well, let me intercept it and kind of go back to where it
please,
started
honey,
from.
Please.
Because you've jumped over some things.
Okay,
because I was here at Hempstead. We were going backwards and forth, doing my research at Texas A&M University, and I decided to get a job for the summer. And they called me. The president, George W. Bush, and the Queen of England called me to come work for them. And initially, come on here, y'all, I turned them down.
That's right.
Who turned down NASA? Tell me.
Right.
Who turned down NASA? But research. I did because I told them that I could not come unless my husband came, because he was my provider. And they say, well, Dr. Pendleton, well, I wasn't Dr. Pendleton then, but you just cannot come then. And then so they hung up. And Mike Doobie wanted me so bad, so bad, that they called me back and told me, say, Dr. Pendleton, you can come on and bring your husband. And then I said, well, what you going to pay him? I said, you pay him the same thing that you're paying me. If you want him to come, we both have to come.
Hey,
and
like
that's
that.
How we ended up. Come on in, y'all. And that's how we ended up in Greenbelt, Maryland. That's how we ended up in the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. He did all of my research for me because it was a program for students that were disabled.
Sure.
And at the time, I was disabled.
That's right.
You know, because he had to push me around in a wheelchair. He had to help me with all of the research and break down the spiral orbiter, turbometer, because we had to figure out the lubricant, the coefficient of friction, and the degradation of the material that go into this thing. And he had to, smart, but he had to do it for me.
Yeah.
So physically, I could not do it.
But she needed a physical apparatus, and I was her physical apparatus, plus I was her husband.
That's
See,
it,
look,
exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I done got a free trip to NASA to work at one of the world's largest space institution in Greenbelt, Maryland.
And
That's
you
it.
making that bread.
And
Come on here.
To pay
That's
you.
it.
Same amount of money they paid her, they paid
They paid him.
We
Yeah,
picked
that's
up
right.
a check the same day, the same amount. That's God.
That ain't nobody but God, and that's favor,
And that's
honey.
favor.
And not
Divine
only that,
favor.
Yes.
once we got that, see, this is for disabled students. They supposed to have me in disabled housing.
That's right.
And they didn't have me in any housing. So they end up putting us up in what, honey?
The Marriott.
The Marriott.
VIP.
I didn't want the top Marriott.
VIP.
VIP. You know,
Presidential.
come on here, presidential.
Okay.
Look at God. Look at God. That's the way God worked it out.
Yes,
That's the
indeed.
way God worked it out.
I
But
love
anyway, during that time, I was discriminated against because of my disability. From the time I got there to the time I left, I never got proper housing. Because, when you're disabled, according to ADA, they have to give you, disabled housing. That's right.
Accessible
That's
rooms
right.
and
That's right.
everything. Yeah.
And they knew I was coming. It was no secret. They knew I was disabled. They knew what I needed.
They lured us there.
That's right. They lured us. Exactly.
But I think most of all, they didn't realize the intensity of her needs, which they weren't. They basically, a husband can do needs for a wife that she'll won't allow nobody else to do.
That is true.
Exactly.
That is true.
And so
that is true.
they really got a burden that's on the ground
That's
because
it.
I'm there with my wife, and it's nowhere in the world I'd allow her to go that way that long to do research. And so this puts me within the same platform. I'm sitting around here, and Alice told me one day, she said, "Honey, I want to share this with you. We've got to do the project because this project is a timely project, and we've got to get through with it.
Right.
We've got to reduce the gravity from around this instrument so we can find out how this lubricant works in out of gravity
in the
atmosphere."
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
she said, the only way we can do that I'm going to have to program
That's right.
a certain plethora of numbers. And what I need you to do, when I feed you these numbers,
That's it.
I want you to feel confident because mathematics is an exact science.
Exact science.
So you
yes.
can't mess it up.
That's right.
If I give you the numbers, you place the numbers in them, you run the numbers and give them back to me, my machine here is going to tell me if those numbers are correct
Correct
or
or
not.
not. That is true.
And fortunately enough, I'm sitting there and I'm, oh Lord, what this is? From a shoe shine stand to NASA
Come on
Space
in. That's
Flight
right.
Center in Greenbelt, Maryland.
In Greenbelt,
I'm
Maryland.
sitting here running the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's God.
That's
and let
nobody
me say
but
this,
God.
the whole time we was there,
Favor.
the whole time we was there were other scientists watching us out of the corner of their eye because they heard that we was there, special order under the George Bush, Queen of England, Mike Doobie
And Mike
project.
Doobie, yes.
And they would sit over from the table on us at lunchtime, and they would be mesmerized just looking over at us, these two black people sitting
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Scientists
Two
that
black people from Hempstead.
Come on here,
Science.
talk to me.
All smart and
they bought these people here. They paying for their rooms,
That's
their
right.
food, their house, and
Yes.
and they thought us to be more than who we really were. But
That's
it's
right.
because of Mike Doobie.
Because of Mike
But
Doobie.
they
That's
would sit
correct.
there and would make little insinuations at lunchtime to see if they could lure us over into their conversation. I had enough sense not to because I'm not scientific.
That's right.
My wife is, but my wife is. If you don't put her on a thing, she just,
yeah, she gonna let you have it.
yeah, she
Come
just
on
let you
here.
go and do what you do. So I
There
told
you
her,
go.
we sat there and we were so impressive if we walked the campus
Yes.
and got a space apple because everybody looked up to us.
They did.
They thought we were like
more than
the
what
hidden
we were.
figures.
Yes.
And you see this figure today, hidden figures. That's really what Alice is.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's the movie.
That's the
That's
movie.
the movie.
That's the movie.
You
That's
right
it.
now
Yes.
are interviewing
That's the movie.
you are right now interviewing
The real.
The
actual
real hidden.
hidden
Come on here,
figure.
girl. Talk to me. Talk
Yes,
to me.
it takes.
Talk to me.
Let me get my hand claps over here. Hold on.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So hidden figures.
The hidden figures. The real hidden figures.
And Alice comes back here, and then she goes to work for NASA at Prairie View University.
Yes.
The first thing she gets here now, she's got to go duplicate moon dust.
That's it.
Actual moon dust.
Moon dust.
But this is what throws me off.
Girl, you too smart. Hold on, babe.
I know.
Make moon dust?
Moon dust. It's called regular.
It's
That's
called
the
regular.
scientific name for it. She would always, they produced it so they could put it inside the astronaut.
Yes.
Yeah, the radiation.
Okay, what I would actually do is it's called, use the regular. It's a material called ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, and I would mix those two together in certain percentages, and then the astronaut will use those to protect themselves from the galactic radiation when they go to the moon, or either when they go, go to Mars.
You blowing my look. Hold on, I was already blown away in the 2 hours that I've been over here before the interview even started.
Yes,
Now, hold on, girl, you hold on. You got my head itching. Okay, so after making the moon dust at PV, shout out to PV A&M University, Prairie View.
Amen.
Yes,
Home
shout
of
out
the
to Prairie View
Panthers.
A&M University.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Well, our people organized that. You sitting here with us interviewing us, and it was our people who organized this university.
That's right.
But we'll do that another day.
Nah, I mean,
Yes.
hey, it's the interview, so
It's the interview. Come on, it's all part. It's all part of the interview. Yes.
But
yes.
nevertheless, in doing that process, Lord, I tell you, this girl I'm just sometimes when I look at her laying over there in the bed to see how smart. But Alice never ever attempted to go to school. She was the smartest thing in class, and we graduated from a segregated school.
That's true.
And graduated from a segregated school, we didn't get one scholarship.
Not one scholarship.
I had to pay for her bachelor's degree when she went to school. That automatically in the state of Texas, if you finish first or second in your class, you get a free ride from the state of Texas.
That's correct.
We didn't get nothing.
That's right.
And so 4 or 5 years later on, I tell Alice, I said, baby, you know what? You just too smart, girl, not to be going to school. You're the smartest thing in our class.
That's right.
And she's saying, well, yeah. I said, I tell you what, we going together now. We done hooked up. If you do this, if you just go to school, I said, I'll do whatever I have to.
Yes,
work on the back of dump trucks or whatever. Because we got to get you through, honey. You too smart. Girl, you know you the smartest thing I've ever sat in the classroom with. And here you around here washing dishes and a short order cook.
That's right.
I said, we can't do that.
That's what I was doing.
And so she jumps up and she goes out to Purview and she goes through pre-med. Get her first degree in pre-med. Come back and she don't like it. I said, I said, honey. She said, honey, we didn't have enough sense to just go right on the med school. Because we didn't have a lot of guidance of people who
didn't have any guidance whatsoever.
I said, well, honey, go back at the Prairie View and see if you can get a mechanical engineering. I said, they offer. So she said, well, okay. She goes after Prairie View because she's still with all her college
basics. Yes.
She goes in to take nothing but engineering courses. Sometimes she have 14, 15. They won't even let you do that today. Hours or nothing but engineering. She goes out there and ace every last one of them. She goes out there and graduate with honors. My wife does so well. She sets the bar in mechanical engineering at Purview University. When Rice University hear about her, they said, wow, they offered her a scholarship.
Fellowship.
She went to Rice University, and that's her degree right there on the wall. She graduated with her master's degree in mechanical engineering from Rice University. And from there, things just start springboarding. But God has really been good to us to be able to work for NASA.
Yes.
To work for the largest scientist institution in the world. I was riding down the street the other night and I felt real bad. You know how sometimes we get personal and let the devil beat us up and get despondent. And I know better, but sometimes the devil even come at the best of us.
Yes, he does.
He came after David. He came after Ezekiel. In our weakest moments, he comes and he tries to tempt us.
Yes, he does.
And I'm sitting down there, pity party, Lord, I've been all the way to Greenbelt, Maryland, NASA, Space Goddard Center, to stood before Congress and all that. And here I'm back here in Hempstead.
Be grateful for where you've been.
And that's what he said. You need to just be grateful. And all of a sudden, I look up and I see a full moon.
Big old full moon. I was out there looking at that moon. moon. I
That's
said,
and the Lord speak to my heart. He said, you sitting here with your head down, moping. He said, don't you ride down here with technology up there on that moon.
Yeah.
He said, lift up your head, O ye gates.
And be lifted
up. Ye lifted up. And I said, oh, Lord, I'll never complain again.
Never. What you mean? Tell it, but don't complain.
Shout out
to Mel Wolf for that word yesterday.
Hallelujah. Mel Wolf is an awesome speaker. He's an awesome man of God.
Yes, he is.
He does things in this city that we've never seen before.
That is true.
I want to send a high five out to him, man. He's been in there about 12 years. This guy.